So now we want to look at what captions and labels are. First, I'm going to do a caption. I have a picture of the Himalayas here, and I have a couple notes that I took from Pebble Go Next on the Himalayas. Notice that the notes are short, they're not full sentences, they are just the main idea, the main fact I learned. They don't have a period or like a full sentence at all, just a short phrase with a fact. I'm going to take these notes that I took in my own words from Pebble Go and I'm going to turn them into a caption for this picture. So I'm going to click on the text box and I want a text box down here. So I'm going to click here and whoa, that's too big. So I'm going to drag it over under the picture and then I'm going to use the little squares around the edge to make it the same size as the picture, the same width. It might end up being a little longer. Now I'm going to double click 1, 2, and that will get me in the text box so I can write in it. Now I'm going to take my notes and I'm going to make them into my own sentences. Himalayas include Mount Everest and the 15 highest mountains in the world. So a caption, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Oh, that looks really good. And I'm going to center it. So I'm going to go to align and put it in the center. Great. So now this caption, now I can get rid of my notes because I'm done using them. So I'm going to click on this text box, click on the box around the edge, and click backspace to get rid of it. And this caption tells me about the picture. It's right under or next to the picture. It is a full sentence or a couple full sentences, and it explains and tells me about the picture. That's a caption. Might even put a text box here just to note that we just did a caption. Obviously, I wouldn't write this. If it was a real project, I wouldn't put the word caption. But this is an example of a caption. Now we're going to do an example of labels. So for labels, I have a different picture. I don't need the big text box in the middle, so I'm going to click on it. Make sure I clicked on the edge, and then I can hit backspace and it will go away if I clicked on the edge. Now I'm going to get a text box of my own. I'm going to make it small. Labels are usually smaller because they're only a word or a couple words. I'm going to put it where I want it on the picture. Sometimes labels have a different background, so you can find the paint bucket and maybe change the background. Next to the paint bucket, find the border and maybe make the border an interesting color. And maybe next to the border, all this is right next to each other. You have the paint bucket, the border color, and now how thick the border is going to be. So now it looks like a label, and this is going to be the foothill, the bottom of the mountain. And I'm going to go to align and center it again. And then I'm going to use the little squares around the edge to make this even smaller. So now I have one caption, and I'm going to, obviously in a real, I'm sorry, one label, not caption. One label. So I'll put the word here. I wouldn't put this in a real project, but just to show you that these are going to be labels. Now, once you've set up one label and you made it the color and the border that you want, you can just click on that label, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and now you have another label. You can put the other label where that one should go. Double click. Well, one click will get you in, but a double click will highlight the whole word, and then you can change it to your new word. So now I've labeled the foothill of the mountain and also the peak of the mountain. Both of those are labels. So this shows you the difference between how to make labels and how to make a caption.